Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that I got back. Anyway,
Me
I
too.
listened to
Me
the
too.
entire article. I was trying to unmute. I think I was just muted for way too long. Anyway, the whole thing of this is just absolutely horrendous.
Just brutal. Like,
Yeah.
really, really. Wow, right?
And this happened 2 years ago, so that would be 2019. Yeah. Um, yeah, God, it's another thing that we need as a country, right? Like this is just what we need to do is, I mean, yes, that person deserves justice. Yes, that family deserves justice, but I believe like we just need to move forward. I mean, didn't the president just meet with the um I don't know, the representatives of the Asian American community? I don't know what they're called, but I think they just signed like an anti Asian
Hate legislation.
discrimination, yeah, hate thing, which is like, okay, that's great, but what exactly does that really do in the public?
Right. Because I thought we already had, there is this discernment of a hate crime. So that really already
Yeah.
exists. There's already, the civil rights violation. So that already exists. So exactly what all does that do except for lip service? Because to the Asian community. Like, how about just passing a non-discrimination act where anytime that there's a potential bias, that it's investigated and punished more severely?
Well, yes. I mean, you have a point there. Um, to me, this just feels like a band-aid to try and silence a whole group of people that are being oppressed.
Me too.
And it's a continuation of, I mean, that's why I talk about it, because it really is a branch off of this topic, right? Like this whole dialogue started with 2020 and George Floyd. I mean, it started a long time ago, but it's really resurfaced with George Floyd and 2020, and people not feeling like their voices are heard, and literally just saying, stop, we're done. We're done being
Absolutely.
hunted down. We're done being fucking killed systematically. We're done being, treated like we're not a part of this country.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
to be honest, I think really what echoed that was, and I mean I'd love to hear you guys' opinion one way or another. But what do you, Dave? I don't know if you saw Disney Plus's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I felt like that dialogue, that like that countrywide dialogue for that storyline was so necessary.
I
Of
did
course,
not
because
see
again,
it. Could you give us a little synopsis, a little summary?
well, I mean, without giving too many things away, one of the things that Sam, who is the Falcon, realizes, because at the end of the whole movie series, right, it picks up at the end. The end of the whole series, like Captain America, Steve Rogers gives Sam the shield, like the Captain America shield, thus passing the mantle of Captain America down to Sam, who struggles with not feeling that it's his mantle to pick up. But
Yeah.
so that's the premise. But then eventually, like, he finds out that there is actually a black soldier, super soldier. Like, America created a second Captain America, and he was black, but then completely buried him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after he was no longer useful, he like locked him up. Like a nurse had to declare him dead just for him to like live a normal life. Like, just terrible. So, but it was literally just like the voice, like the the voice of, and I don't want to, I'm paraphrasing, so just take it as it is, right? Grain of salt. But the
Yeah.
voice of, the black voice of America, not feeling like that they really belong, or why should they even support America, because America never supported them, right? So like
Right.
it's the bitter old man mentality, right?
Then that reminds me of a Buffalo Soldier.
Yeah, exactly.
Dreadlock Rasta, right? Volunteer go join the military, then come back and be persecuted again, even though you're a military hero that just fought for your country. Wow.
Exactly. So that's exactly part of what it addresses. And then, I mean, I don't want to give away spoilers, but the way that Sam's character, like, that he addresses that is like, look, I am American. I am black. My race did help shape this country, and I'm tired of being embarrassed by it. I'm tired of silencing it, and I'm tired of being silenced.
Amen.
I'm going to fight for the country that I live for, that my ancestors helped to protect.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean, I thought that was a great message. Honestly, it was, message. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Again, we're talking about this recent news article that came out from Louisiana. These few cops brutally murdered this person, pulled him over and murdered him, and then covered it up for 2 years. And now this has come to light. And I'm kind of pasting those parallels with the storyline of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, no, I think it dovetails perfectly. I need to mute myself for 1 second, but yeah, whenever you're done there, let's go ahead and take a message. But yeah, I mean, the story just fires me up. I think that was a great parallel that you just drew. It reeks all too much of George Floyd, and when are we going to do the systemic change? When are we going to stop the lip service and begin the change, right?
Yeah. And that's what it feels like. It just feels like a bunch of empty signatures on some paper and some empty words that are like these hollow words that are, yeah, the paper helps you reinforce it, but like, who helps those people reinforce the paper? So let's take our call. We have May the Poet on here, and if you guys have any opinions whatsoever, that's okay. This is a safe space. If it's differing opinions, that's okay as well. Dave and I, like, if you have something to try and bring receipts with it, just some facts, just give us some news articles so that we can research it. I would love to do that. But then, the show mentality here is that sometimes everybody has an opinion, and it is just that, an opinion. And sometimes we have to agree to disagree and walk away, and that is okay.
That's right. We're more about dialogue than debate.
Exactly. So let's take May the Poet, and I'll let Dave take his little break.
Hey, Dave, I did try to get in contact with you on stereo so I could fill in while Big Bear was trying to reconnect, but I guess he got back in time, so I did try to save the morning weekly show. It was an effort. Anyway, I just sent you via your phone the New York Times interesting parts of the article that you did not have about that particular death in Louisiana. And it is just, I don't know, incredible. And we're hearing about this 2 years later before all this other stuff happened this past year, and with George Floyd, and just unbelievable context and quotes and misjustice, and just I don't understand it, and it was just degrading to me. And I just looked at a New York Times article that popped up on my computer about it, because we're talking about it back here in Vegas too on the radio, but it's disgusting, really is.
Okay, yeah. So I just got to add into that. I just the final paragraph in the article. The AP also last year obtained a medical report showing an emergency room doctor noted Green arrived dead at the hospital, bruised and bloodied, with 2 stun gun prongs in his back. So there you go.
That's
and the doctor wrote, "This does not add up to crashing into a tree."
Yeah. And yet, what happened with that report? Did that not make it to the courts? Did that not make it to anything?
No, it hasn't made it anywhere yet. And the whole thing that they're saying, so the thing that really pisses me off about they're saying they got to shelter it from the public so that they can have a fair trial. Bullshit. Bring all the evidence out, let us see it, and that way you can't come up with a verdict that we don't agree with.
How is that a fair trial? I mean, I understand letting like it's supposed to be a trial of your peers, right? So I understand trying to keep all the evidence from the public so that they don't make predetermined decisions based on that outside of the court. But still, if the only people that are expected to hand over evidence are the police officers that were on, on scene, and if that lawyer, that defense attorney, doesn't do his job and say, hey, this doesn't add up, and actually interview people, like interview the doctor, then that shit's gonna stay buried.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I think I watch
Just
way too many
unbelievable.
law movies and shows. I think I really do. All right, let's get to our next caller.
Big Bear Radio and another thing. What's going on? How are y'all doing? So, my previous messages was that, and if the brain can support another appendage, if it can support 2 appendages, I would like to have a vest type thing that had 2 extra arms on it, where I would wear a cap or whatever I needed to wear to make it happen, to control those appendages, and I'd have a second set of arms. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah,
it would definitely allow you to like get more work done, but also I think, I don't know, like that would take a lot of mental capacity to try and like,
wouldn't it,
type out with 2 robotic arms, but also control whatever you're doing with your regular arms.
Dude, I have trouble enough with my 2 arms in my little brain trying to like, okay, I'm editing, I'm doing this, I'm doing 4 steps. Okay, now I'm taking this podcast and I'm putting it on YouTube. Wait, which podcast was that? Oh God, I got to go back to Anchor and look up which episode it was. Like, oh man, I can only imagine if I was doing 3 more things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it definitely would be interesting.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would be into trying it. I would choose wings personally.
Wings? Yeah. For
Right?
flying?
Come on.
I honestly don't
hang
think personal flight will ever exist. I think people want to control, like that's too uncontrollable.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like, I
exactly.
mean, even look at vehicles. Look at the last, I don't know, what, 100 years? Just with vehicles and the advancements and technology and shit with that. You're gonna tell me that a flying car doesn't exist? Bullshit.
Well, no. So I heard about this thing about flying cars, and Tesla or Elon Musk actually addressed this. He's like, the whole thing with flying cars in the future. He's like, imagine that. Are you going to trust this like 2-ton vehicle like hovering over your head? He's like, no, we don't want that. I mean,
we already
and
do.
It would be ugly.
We already do with these airplanes, but yeah, if you increase the traffic of that to like vehicles, hell no.
Imagine one of their propellers falls up at 3,000 feet. Oh, what could happen? What could go wrong? So that's one of his motivations for the whole tunneling thing for the Boring Company, is he's going to do the Hyperloop underground. So now we wouldn't have the sky all cluttered with a gazillion vehicles, and you don't have that safety risk as well. Guy's brilliant, man.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely need more people to be thinking forward like Elon Musk. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I definitely agree that he is forward thinking for the future and doesn't really give a shit about big businesses and what that hurts, which is great, because we really do kind of need to scrap the system that we're in and move forward to a better system. But the problem is big businesses won't let us move forward because they like the system we're in because it works for them.
Oh my God, Bear, this is amazing. Yes. There's a crow on my roof 7 feet from me right now.
All right, so for those of you that don't know, and another thing has been trying to train crows to steal trinkets from women on their balconies or porches or swings, or
not just women, shiny, valuable trinkets from any gullible person that puts them on their windowsill or something. I'm trying to train crow burglars. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. He's trying to train. He's going to be the crow master. And what are you feeding them now? Like, you started with eggs, right? You started with eggs.
Started with some hard-boiled eggs, then I went to some expired chicken. Anytime I have like a little gristle or a bone from anything I eat, but you put it out there. But then I kind of took the plunge, Big Bear. I went and bought some grain-free lamb dog food kibble.
See
But
what
yeah,
I mean, oh my God, you're so close. You're so
they're
close.
eating $40 a bag kibble.
Oh my God. All right. They're going to start bringing you trinkets that are more than $40. But like, I would love it if they just brought you back like the shiniest junk you could ever bring back.
Exactly. Something totally worthless, like an old
Yeah.
Mardi Gras bead or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Or like a spoon. Like just, just
Yeah.
like,
Preferably not with a burned bottom.
you'll have a wonderful collection of traveling spoons.
Yeah, of completely worthless shiny things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But even that would make a cool art piece. Brought by crows. Or
All right,
an
so
art piece created by crows.
that would be pretty cool.
I digress.
Actually. No. We dye the grass, and that happens. But I'm glad that we should have like a crow recap or like like how are the crows this week?
I'm gonna send you pictures on Instagram right now.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yes. Yeah. While you're doing that, let's get calls again. We're talking about the
Next call.
recent news that came out with police officers hiding evidence for 2 years after murdering a unfortunate black man in Louisiana, down in New Orleans. So we're taking calls off of that right now, and after we're done with that, we'll move on to our next topic. So let's take our callers.
Hey guys, it's me, your friendly neighborhood aspiring lawyer. So, in some cases, it actually is very helpful to not release footage to the public, because when people see footage, they do develop opinions like immediately, right? So like, oh, what the fuck was the guy's name who had like all the fucking like canaries and shit, and really he was just killing them, right? But they did like a court trial to try to get him released from Alcatraz, and everybody thought he was this great bird science, but really he was just sitting in bird shit and killing the birds, like, because they were not being properly taken care of. So it's just, sometimes it is better to not release the footage to the public, because like Fox News will run with it and create this narrative, and then MSNBC will run with it and create this narrative. So it does expose, sorry, there's a weed here in the background, it does expose the public to preconceived opinions before coming into the jury. So
I see that,
She continues.
It's to keep them like objective to everything. So I understand in some cases. But when the police fucking brutally murder a man, there is no other opinion to have. That is the only opinion. That's it. That's the only opinion. The only reason that you are holding back that fucking footage in this situation is because you don't want us tearing up the fucking city for your racism. That's literally it. You want to save your pockets. That's what you want to do.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Fuck
you're trying
police.
to save local businesses from, because of course people are going to riot and they're going to start. You can't control a riot, unfortunately. That's why there's peaceful protests. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, but yeah, some footage like that, I mean, it will enrage the world. It's out, right? They released the footage, I'm assuming.
Well, no, not yet. Not until the trial's over.
Okay, but they just described it.
They described it and they let the family see it. Yeah. So I guess some news sources have been able to see it.
So horrible to watch as a person. Oh my God, I feel so bad for that family. I mean, I feel bad for that person, obviously, but the family's
got to suffer on, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then to have to watch your family member basically being murdered on tape. That God, my heart goes out to you. Please, just good vibes out to that person. Those
Absolutely.
That family. But yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Like, shit, with 2020 and BLM and everything that's going on here in my own little city, we had like actual, like, it was peaceful protests that apparently went to, you know, you've got these terrible, and of course it's stupid white teenage kids because that's what it is, but like breaking windows and trying to loot and do all this stuff, like to take advantage. This is a small, like, this is a good city, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you
Or
got
at least we
kids
try and
just
think
taking advantage of it. We can go be a punk and not get arrested tonight. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's
But
no
then
good. No good.
the public turns that view towards the racism and towards, just to further the fire, to continue fuel the fire, and it's just like,
Right.
man.
Right. And you
So I
saw
get what you're
that
saying.
you saw that in a horrible degree, and to a horrible degree in the Katrina catastrophe, where white people taking food out of a grocery store was surviving, and black people with a case of water was looting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
oh,
that's not. There's no difference with that. There's a difference between taking a case of water and taking a 50-inch
a
screen
TV.
TV.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And we use the same example. That's great.
So I've often been sitting there typing something and have something else going on off to the side, and then I got to quit typing and then move over to the other thing I'm doing and start doing that. So if I had that second set of arms, I could do that and type at the same time and not have any issues. And I think my brain could handle it. I think it could. I could be wrong, but I think my brain could.
I mean, it's worth a try as long as there's
Worth a
no
try.
brain.
Yeah. As long as you don't get brain freeze. Oh, skidoo pie. 7-Eleven plug. Slurpee season.
As long as the program frees your hardware.
That's right.
That's funny.
Oh.
Come on. Oh, you got it.
As long as I'm not trying to talk at the same time.
Yeah.
Or walk. Or chew bubble gum. Or, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, with line number 9.
And the question is about this whole thing with Louisiana, and I'll bring this up briefly, is that some of that evidence and situation might be too graphic for the courtroom, and that might be a stupid way of, like, dancing around it, but something like this has to be exposed and seen, and the jurors have to be warned about what they're going to see is very graphic and could affect them psychologically, but it should not affect their outcome about how and if this goes to trial with these officers or whatever. So I'm thinking that's one reason why all evidence may not be seen, but I do agree that it should be seen, heard, and processed by anybody who is fortunate enough to be on the jury. I sure wish I was, because nothing graphic bothers me. It just clarifies what kind of law we have in charge in certain states, but I'm friends with cops, and this to them is just disgusting. Anyway, back to my job.
Yeah, to any good cop, this is nauseating. This is not what any good cop signed up to be part of at all. This is an example of somebody going rogue and becoming a criminal.
Yes.
So
yes, I mean, those people wanted to hurt that person.
We're in no way speaking out against law enforcement, not in the least. I'm speaking
we're speaking out against bad, just evil. Yeah. That's what we're.
Yeah, and I'm crying for policy change. For systemic policy change. We can get through these next messages, but then I've got a nice little wrap up about another story, and it kind of just paints an overall picture of what's going on with law enforcement and internal investigations and such.
Sure. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I figured this was another malfunction, so I figured you could keep talking.
Yeah, we got a ghost in the machine there. Come on back, Smokey. Yep.
Well, apparently his arm, he was working his appendages. He couldn't talk.
That's right. Juanito Papi. What's going on? Hey, I like the suit, Juan.
Yeah,
we got Juanito.
What does it help to destroy one's own community and not attack the places that are actually involved with it? These are oftentimes communities of the people that are being attacked. You're destroying
Right.
local businesses, small businesses that had nothing to do with it. So I have to slightly disagree with that part. Attack the corporations, attack the police stations or whatever you're protesting against. You shouldn't. I don't believe. I think uh, organized protest or attack is better. Like, what does it help to destroy one's own location and put in further ruin?
It's a really
I
good point,
100%.
Juan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him talk on the next one too. I'll just play that next one.
And don't get it twisted. I think the protests are necessary, especially with the police. They abuse their power and often get away with it. And qualified immunity is a fucked up thing. But to say that these protests couldn't be more organized and more directed at where it should be is, I think, a crappy narrative. Oftentimes, there were people coming outside of the communities destroying their those other ones. Like, this is not, and destroying and protesting and destroying from other places they're not even from. So yeah, these protests need to happen, but like, you there definitely should have been more directed to the real enemy.
Well, and let's
Yeah.
not get it twisted. I mean, yes. First off, I agree. Oh my God! Sorry, there's a garbage can or garbage truck taking down the dumpster. So if there's
No
but
way.
one, thank you so much for giving us your opinion and your voice. I agree with. I think protests are necessary. I want to get that fact straight. Is that we want protests, not riots, right? And that was the
Right.
whole point that we were talking about. Is if you release the footage to the public, like George Floyd's was, then you would get riots because you would have a public like outcry and
Yeah.
emotion playing into that, which is
Yes.
what Pootie was saying as our friendly neighborhood local lawyer or almost lawyer.
Yeah. I agree. Totally agree with you, Bear. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think what happens is it's an emotional explosion, right? So it's not planned and thought out. People just hit the streets and they're pissed, right? So I don't know how much organization there is in a quote unquote riot. You look at the riots in LA after Rodney King, and people torched their own neighborhood. A bunch of black owned businesses, a bunch of Korean owned businesses, small business owners lost their shit. People didn't mean to do that. They were just out of control, filled with rage.
Yeah.
I agree. Those aren't the people that are doing anything. So people should show up at City Hall and not riot, but protest. Hold these people accountable. Block the doorway. Don't let them into work in the morning. Make them answer. Have the news crews there. Hold these people accountable in front of their office on camera and make them answer to us. What are you doing? What legislation have you submitted for this week? What have you done this week? We need to hold
Right.
our politicians accountable.
Well, that's why they call it press. The press.
Thank you. Yeah, and
They're
look what the press
supposed to
does now.
press
Yeah.
on people. But yeah,
They
well,
don't.
now, well, what happened? I mean,
But we do.
100% speculation. What happened? Okay, so like take it with a grain of salt. But what happened was all of a sudden, the politicians became the ones who were in charge of the press.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, let's
exactly.
not get confused here. How many times have you seen that fucking video where every single news outlet is reading the exact same script?
Yeah. Down to the point where they're talking about Easter. The Easter Bunny has a little extra spring in its step this year. The Easter Bunny has a little extra. The Easter Bunny has a little. The Easter Bunny has a little extra spring in its step this year. And they all are literally reading the same script.
That's not journalism.
No, it's pathetic.
That's just broadcasting.
Payola. It's payola, is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Which is against the fucking law. From a
Yes, and it's not
broadcaster right here, I learned that payola is against the fucking law.
Yes, yes, and it violates,
It's
ethics.
bribery.
Huge ethics violation
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
You just got my heart rate up there, Bear.
Sorry. I just
It's all good. It's all good.
but it's funny.
Passionate.
It's funny and it's not funny, but it's just like it's so funny that we as common people can see this shit, right? But yet they still think that they can get away with it. They still fucking do it. I mean, I constantly go back to the writer and creator of V for Vendetta, not the movie, the actual comic. The movie was great, but like that person saw everything. You watch that fucking movie, it's exactly where we are almost right now.
Thank you.
I mean, it was really more 2020.
Yeah, it was actually set in 2020, which blew my mind when I figured that when somebody told me that and 12 Monkeys were both set in 2020. Talk about mind blow.
That's so crazy. That is such a mind blow. I mean,
but I would have to say V for Vendetta is probably, yeah, exactly. I would have to say V for Vendetta is probably my favorite movie of all time because it nails it. It's everything George Orwell said and warned us about put into a movie.
Everything. I mean, and the other thing is, like we were talking about the news, right? And that's where I was getting with V for Vendetta. It's like there's a scene where Evie Hammond, which is Princess Amidala, God, what the hell is her name? The actress. She's an amazing actress. I don't know why I can't remember her name. I'm sure. Hang on, somebody say it, and I'll play that message real quick. Seriously, I can't remember her name. But she's also Princess Amidala, and she's also she's an amazing act. Let's see. Somebody help me out here. No? Okay. Well, anyway, moving forward. Yeah. There's a scene where they're watching Natalie Portman. Thank you so much. I'm sure somebody's going to send one. But yeah, Natalie Portman is the one who is she's watching the news with V. And she's like, that's bullshit. And he's like, how can you tell? And she's like, she blinks a lot when she tells a story she knows is false.
Oh, you mean kind of like Bill Clinton nodding yes when he was saying, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Well, I mean, that's a physical tell, right? That's a Freudian slip. But
yeah, body's doing one thing.
Exactly, but it is. It's just like when you know. I mean, it just says everything that we talked about in that movie, though. Like these people are given stories. They just recite what they're given. They're not journal. I mean, I'm sure there are some journalists out there that actually want to do real journalism and tell the stories, and that's the type of stories that we're reiterating to you, right? I'm not a journalist per se. I'm a broadcaster. I'm somebody that likes to come on air and share what I'm interested in.
Right. Likewise, these aren't stories that we've researched. These are stories that other people have researched and we've kind of filtered through them.
Yeah. So I mean, take news. I'm going to put news in air quotes, right? For what it's worth, because it's not the journalist. That by the time that gets there, I mean, we could draw parallels to even Hollywood with this shit. How many times has a director come out like Snyder and said, look, it's not me that made a shitty movie. It's the fucking executives and the company that made it shitty because they kept cutting everything out.
I just heard a quote
what the public wanted.
I even just heard a quote from Dave Chappelle of like, about Dazed and Confused. He's like, I gave them this killer script and they made a kids movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
All right, let's keep moving on. Callers, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We're going to keep going and hear what you have to say.
You
Love our
know, Big
listeners.
Bear, even if it's horrible for a family to watch something like that, they have to come to terms to what happened to their loved one to decide if they want it admissible in court or not. And it takes a lot of psychological, I guess, reasoning and processing to get through that afterwards. I don't think anybody should be exposed to that, but if you're getting a call that a family member is dead, wouldn't you want to know, like, how and why? And how come and what the whole situation was, even if the persons or people were arrested. So it's coming down to the fact that it is up to the family if they want these things released or not. And it is coming down to the fact that the family should know exactly what happened to that family member for legal purposes, like an ongoing lawsuit down the road or civil suit or whatever. And if they want it laid to rest, that is the family's decision. So it is horrible in any outcome whatsoever.
Sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
Thank you for
Total
that
agreement.
perspective, man. Appreciate it.
You know, I think it's an absolute civil right to know what has happened to your family member. I think it's imperative. You should be able to view the body, not just photographs. You should be privy to any information. Maybe, it may be sworn to not release it or before the trial, like a sequestered kind of thing or something. But to me, that seems like a civil right in a free country. I don't know.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I know you're not talking out against law enforcement. I have a friend of mine who won the Medal of Valor, and he's done the honorable thing with his career. He's never fired a gun in any situation except for reinstatement. And he's got a hell of a shot, by the way. And he has heard about this and just said enough is enough already. These rogue cops are turning people against not only the police departments who really want to help them, but they're changing America's outcome of what law enforcement is. And he is just so tired of hearing this stuff slipping through the fingers. Like, for 2 years after it happens, this is all of a sudden coming up. Why? Because of George Floyd? Or because somebody leaked out some information? He's like, that should have been handled in 2019 right up front. And he's right. And he's just so tired of hearing the negative instead of the good that police enforcement does.
Yep. And I hear the gardeners coming in the background.
Yeah.
The mower and blower crew coming through. And it's funny how we can call them gardeners. They're not. They're yard maintenance technicians. A gardener gets their fingers dirty. Just saying.
There you go. I just call them landscapers or scalpers.
Yeah. There you go. Scalpers. I
Land
call them mowing
scalpers.
blowers.
What are they doing?
Mower and blowers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're just shaving the shit out of everything.
And then blowing the crap onto somebody's yard who isn't paying them.
That's funny.
Right?
All
They're
right.
not picking it up. They're just blowing it away.
We are getting a little bit to the time that we had, so let's finish up with these messages. But I also recognize that we were a little late today, so I'm definitely willing to go over. But yeah, let's get through these messages, then we can get on to our next topic that Dave has for us today, and then we'll wrap up our show. Smokey. I don't know what's going on with Smokey's phone, but it is constantly not recording what he wants.
Tech error.
I definitely think law enforcement kind of sucks because they're enforcers of the state. They often enforce unconstitutional laws. I mean, how many police were happily enforce these unconstitutional lockdowns and shut down of businesses? I mean, I understand the social distancing, but these lockdowns destroyed a lot of small businesses, and how many police were willing to happily shut down those businesses because they were given the orders by the state and they're getting a paycheck. So yeah, I definitely have a problem with majority of police, because if you don't stand up to it, like the certain sheriffs that did stand up to some of the lockdown procedures and the lockdowns in general, I give credit to where it's due, but like it felt like a lot of police. I need a part.
Well,
Juan realized you needed a part two.
A sheriff is an an elected person, so they could stand up to something. But but cops are they're an employee. They got to do what they're told. So
Yeah.
you can't blame a cop for that. I can only blame a cop for their actions when they're illegal or immoral. That's kind of what I'm sticking to.
That's true, and I appreciate that you're sticking to that. I think he's just. I mean, it sounds like Juan has firsthand experience with this, or at least secondhand experience with this, like a friend that has had a business go down. And I agree with him. I'm gonna let him finish his second statement, but I just want to say this real quick. I agree with him that like the pandemic, it's so awful to like reference something and be like, oh yeah, there was this great arcade that I went to, and it's $20 to get in, and you could do all this, and it's oh well. I mean, I guess that's it if it survived the pandemic.
Right. Exactly.
But
Oh,
no idea what businesses
my old
survived.
sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Remember
get
that
it.
old Thai restaurant? Oh, that place used to be great. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. And Juan, if you want to leave another message to continue your point, you're welcome to. I don't see
Absolutely.
another one. So we're going to move on with Brittany.
Could you fucking
Brittany?
imagine for just a second if black people tried to raid a police station? Could you fucking imagine? They would all be fucking dead. Now, white people, they can raid the Capitol building. That's fine. But if black people actually tried to raid a political building or a police station,
Didn't they do it?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Brittany, I think somebody wrote a song about that. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Right?
It's funny. That's actually one of Pa Rocky's favorite songs.
I love that one too. No, it'd be a bloodbath. Same thing if it was BLM or Occupy that stormed the Capitol. It would have been an absolute bloodbath.
No, I'm going to put something to contrast that, okay? Didn't they do that in Seattle? Was that more white people than black people? But didn't they take over the police station in Seattle? Or somewhere in... Yeah.
I think they even lit it on fire.
I don't know if they lit it on fire, but I do know that they like basically held this ground for over a week and lived there.
Like one of them, Seattle or Portland, they lit it on fire.
Oh, Portland.
They took over the police department and burned them out.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I think you're right. I think it was Portland. I'm sorry, I'm coming at you with memory instead of facts here, but
no worries. No, it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I remember listening to amazing podcast, The Journal. Period. Check it out. It's one of my favorites. It's very NPR like. Have you checked it out yet, Dave? I think I've sent you a couple.
I haven't. I'm writing it down right now, though.
All right. So when you look it up, just write The Journal and then with a period. All right. That's the podcast. Because it's presented by the Wall Street Journal and also brought to you by Gimlet, which is an amazing podcasting group. But they did some reports on a few reports on this, on like how it was a community, like how people thought it was like the new way of doing things. They were policing themselves, but then on the opposite side of it, people weren't policing, and they were getting and they were saying
there was a murder.
Saying both sides, yeah, and there was a murder, exactly.
So the utopian city went south within a week. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is just like, look, I understand that we need laws and that we need some sort of enforcement on those laws. We need people to do that. But what I'm asking for is systemic change based on how exactly transparency and how they are dealt with when they break the law, right? Like they're not, no one's above the law. And that's the thing is we have all of these individuals. I don't want to call them cops. We have all these individuals that think that they're above the law and try and get away with it. And then they have friends that care about them or think the same way that they do. So they also help them to get away with it. That's what we need change on, is like the actual process of which these individuals get hired on to represent us and police us. These are peace officers. That's what they were known as. Peace officers.
Yes. So more
Not
screening,
pull
more
over,
testing
drag them
prior
out,
to being hired, right?
not pull somebody over, tase them while they're in their car, beat them while they're on the ground, and kill them. People, these were peace officers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't care if that guy
Exactly.
was driving too fast. You know what? To be honest, it makes me not want to pull over anytime a cop pulls me over. It makes me want to
Well,
go to a gas station and pull over so that I have witnesses.
and that's what they say to do. That's what they say to do now. And that's a scary world when we're living in, when you would think that's what you would have to worry about in some third world country, right? No, I'm American. I'm American. Don't kill me. Don't take me hostage. Don't kidnap me and hold me for ransom. But I couldn't agree with what you said more, Bear. And like, so when police get away with breaking the law, or when you see a politician that broke the law, was convicted, and then is pardoned by a president, it takes away of our faith in the law. And when you lose your faith or your trust in the law, that's the beginning of the disintegration of society,
Well, and I think
of
that's honestly
rule and
where
order.
we were in 2019. From 2019 to now, the thing, I've lost faith and
I
trust
have too.
in
Yeah.
politics.
Oh,
My
yeah.
brother jokes that he's going to start the revolution and just do a march on Washington like Martin Luther King Jr. did. But instead of going to the Lincoln Monument, he's going to go right to the Capitol building and not do an insurrection, not violence, but he wants to walk in there and just go, "You're all fired."
Yeah, exactly.
What? Yeah. No. You're all of you fired. Who the fuck are you? Well, oh, I don't think you understand. It's not me that's firing you. And then he walks them outside to see all the people and just be like, we fire you. We
Yeah.
fire you as a collective, as a country, because you've no longer represented the people. You haven't for a long time. You collected as much money as you did, and you made out like bandits, but you're all fired.
Yeah. And you know what? With blockchain technology, we could actually vote on every single measure. So we could literally do away with half of Congress. They're just fat that we don't need. Cut the fat. It made sense when you had to send a representative on horse and buggy to Washington to represent you. But now we have this amazing thing called the interweb, you know?
Well, and when things are going to change dramatically. I mean, I'm predicting that things are going to change dramatically when Elon
Yeah.
Musk actually gets his internet up and running.
Wait,
His
there
free.
you go. There you go. Is he working on it?
Yeah, I heard that he's actually trying to that's a part of SpaceX is also to launch these satellites so that he can start his own network.
With net neutrality. So God bless him. He's superseding the Orwellian crackdown. Oh, that is awesome.
Right? Like who gives
Freaking
a shit?
love
We
that
don't
man.
care. This system doesn't work anymore. We need something new.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love the Declaration of Independence in this fucking country.
Yep.
The times
Love it.
have changed,
Bill of Rights.
right?
Love it.
The times they are changing. Always.
That's right.
And
God bless you, Bob Dylan.
76 fucking mentality on 26 or 2021.
Yeah, we can't do it. We can't do it. We have to start anew. It is broken. Our financial system broken. Our quote unquote democracy broken. Five lobbyists for every member of Congress. That's broken.
Yeah. I mean, why do you think we're constantly trying to we're moving forward? We're like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, like the digital currency system now. It's moving forward.
Right. It's exciting.
We're trying to start something, but I'm afraid that it's just the same thing. You know what I mean? It's
It
just
could
a repetitive.
be. Who knows? It could be. It could
So,
all be founded by billionaires for all we know, right?
I've gotten my heart rate up. I've gotten other people's heart rate up.
All right, let's take a deep breath. Everybody do a nice stretch, everybody, and take a nice deep breath together. It's all going to be all right.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay.
You know, I think everybody needs a hydration break. So I have a bottle of water here with me. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. And I
I'm
encourage
gonna
all of you
join
to
you.
also take a quick drink of water while we listen to this next message by May.
Okay, I'm flooding. I'm probably basically spamming the show, but you got to understand something from my point of view, and I could prove this in an article somewhere online. Sorry, I'm eating a pineapple cookie. Sorry. When we get a story that breaks like this, reporters, radio stations, news advisories have to double check all the facts. This story broke, it was 2 years old. The facts were presented. Not all of them were until now. And the stipulation is that we are on a hold until they are double checked and updated and everything pans out where it shows up everywhere the same way. I know that sounds really shitty, but that's the way it works. So if a story breaks and we don't have all the facts except some minimals, we have to make sure that there are 2 days or everything is double checked.
Well, that's the journalistic standard, but it is not the normal in today's world as far as, I mean, WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. They never
Right.
never recounted that, never went back, oh gee, we got that wrong. The Syrian gas attack, proven to be fake.
And
Never
yes.
recounted. So
I
on
know
and
you're
on and on
I
and
know you're
on.
coming with receipts, but I understand that you're coming with receipts. But I want to say this real quick.
Yeah.
That may be the industry standard, right? The journalistic standard of doing things.
That is the journalistic standard, and it used to be the law. It used to be legal.
Yeah. But that's not YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or
Fox
anything.
or MSNBC with the whole Russiagate thing.
I understand that. I understand that as well. But there is just so much spread of misinformation because people are taking or putting their trust in someone that's like me that just knows how to work a camera and an editing machine and puts out a video based on this false information or close to, like, it's just, that's the thing, is just like there's just so much available technology. Yes, I do think that if you are going to represent yourself and be regulated by the FCC, then you need to go to the journalistic standard of just like you have to make sure that your facts are straight and all that shit. I understand that people don't do that. Firsthand experience. But I had 2 individuals reach out to me wanting to do a Fox News based program on YouTube. They actually wanted to, they actually broadcast all across the United States to many different cities and whatnot. Like this guy, not for that, but he has his finger in those pies, is what I'm saying. And they wanted to create a Republican news network that I would edit together, but then asked me to splice in subliminal advertising every so frames because it's not illegal to stream it, right? Subliminal advertising isn't, or I'm sorry, streaming internet watch is not regulated by the FCC. So if it's not regulated by the FCC, then it is not illegal to do subliminal advertising through streaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, that's what they try me to agree to.
Brutal. So they're trying to put together a propaganda channel. Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Right.
That's fantastic. So I just want to give a shout out to some reporters that I love in this era of alternative facts. I also have a merchandise line called Seek the Truth for this very reason. It's so important to seek the truth. I'm not telling you what it is. I'm telling you to seek it. And I'll give you some resources where I'm getting shit. But some of my favorite reporters are Abby Martin. She does a show called The Intercept and The Empire Files. Amazing. Also Lee Camp with Redacted Tonight. He does a recount of how we're being misled by the mainstream media. He's also got another podcast called Moment of Clarity. where he talks about what's going on today. Um, another reporter, Max Blumenthal, he broke the truth about Venezuela when we were being lied to and told that Venezuela didn't have any food on the shelves. He went down there and he filmed grocery stores. They looked like Whole Foods. He's like, look at this meat department. It looked better than Whole Foods here. He's like, look at this. We got 15 kinds of IPA in the microbrew section. Venezuela's really hurting, huh? And he broke the story. What it was is the elites there, the white elites, were working with the US government to withhold certain products from the shelves of the grocery store, namely the things people needed most: tampons, toilet paper, toothpaste, soap. But you could get
Oh,
you could get a filet mignon steak, you could get an IPA, no problem.
I love that. And I'm just gonna mention this, ladies. I don't mean to piss you off, but in you were saying like what they were taxing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
On Netflix, there's a show called Big Mouth. It's an adult cartoon, and it addresses basically kids growing up through puberty and what that's like, the actual puberty, like going through all the whole. They actually have a character called the Hormone Monster that
Oh
is
man.
like every hormonic thought in that kid's head, right? So
Right. Brutal.
it's a great. But in one of the episodes, it addresses one of the characters, a female character, getting her period for the first time and like kind of what that is. I honestly think it's a really great show, and it opens up an amazing dialogue with your body and your body image and your sexuality and like how you first start kind of getting into that mentality and seeing women for, the few like sexual. I don't want to say sexual objects, but just start seeing women. Let's just say that.
Amazing, beautiful, wonderful creatures they are.
Exactly. 100% agree with that. Anyway, at the end of this episode, like she finally tells the mom, and the mom said, like, she's like, "What do I have to learn how to do a tampon?" She's like, "No, we'll work up to tampons. We're baby steps here. Tampons are taxed as a luxury item. Do you know that? I don't. I have assumed that it's true. I assume that it's true. I think I've heard that before. But tampons are taxed as a luxury item.
You know what? I'm gonna go buy some, Bear, and I'll report back on our next show.
Yeah, I mean I've bought tampons. Or no, I don't think I've ever bought. I bought pads. I don't think I've ever bought tampons.
And you know what I might do? I might even film a TikTok of myself buying tampons, because that would be hilarious, right?
That would be hilarious. Yeah, but I mean, as a luxury item, item,
that would really piss me off if that's true, because that's extortion, right?
Yeah, I mean, as two men, we know that that's wrong.
That's bullshit. That's extortion. That there should be a law against that. It's a necessity, and it should be priced tax-free as a health item.
Yes, exactly. Okay, we're moving forward. I'm sorry, we're getting way too into stuff today. But
yeah. You know what? Hey, we're fired up.
Okay, I know that's not your topic, but I'm going to piggyback off of what she said. I wish I could frame that quote right there. Law enforcement and the police officers are changing how law enforcement is viewed by the
public.
Mischievous things that they're doing to innocent people. And how rude of me. Yeah. Greetings to, you all, to the hosts, and to the people in the room. But law enforcement, man, from the way that they're acting, I don't even want to call the police. When something happens to me, and I'm in a situation, I don't even call the police anymore, because I don't want anybody to get shot or beaten for something that they don't deserve to get beaten for. I don't even call them. I can't say the last time I called the police.
Thank you. And that's a horrible testimony, and I completely agree with you. I wouldn't call either unless because there's stories in my local town. I'm going to read you one. I got a story lined up right here whenever we're ready, but it's about this, and
we're
oh my
ready.
God.
We're almost ready. I wanted to give you your thing. Oh my God, I love
Neko or Nico, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think Bear and I both totally agree with you, bro. Yeah.
100%. And I love your first off, you can go back. These shows are recorded, so you can go back to the show. And I would 100% find the time. It is currently, come on,
10:14.
no way, 1 hour into the talking time of this episode. Okay, 1 hour. So wherever, I would say that was probably said maybe 20 minutes ago, right? So you can go into like 40 minutes into the episode of this episode and then share it to your Instagram or clip it and save that video. Because if it's something that resonated with you, and I think that it resonates with me as well. It's a great point of view to pick out that, like, if we don't trust our government, then I'm not going to call them.
Right. And that's a horrible testimony about society if we get to that point. Yeah. And I just want to reiterate what Bear said.
Someone else.
Ghostbusters, man. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters at this point.
Apparently the Ghostbusters.
I'm going to grab my bong and hide in the closet and hope for the best. Like, right?
Oh my God. It's like that scene from Casper, which is also a movie from the 90s that I'm sure you haven't watched, with Christina Ricci, but Dan Aykroyd is in that movie as a Ghostbuster, right? Because they try and evict the ghosts from this mansion, and Dan Aykroyd comes back. He's like, "Who are you gonna call? Someone else," and he runs away. It was hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, but thank you again. Let's see, who was that? Nico
or Nico? Yeah. Yeah, appreciate the comment.
Smooth.
I just wanted to reiterate what you said, Bear, about the fact that people can share clips, right? If you like a section of the talk, you can share a 30-second clip of it. So, yeah.
Up to 30 seconds of a clip, yeah, exactly.
Unless they've changed that, it might even be longer now.
I call the lawn technicians and the landscapers and the gardeners, I call them Dad. Hey, Dad. No, I don't know them.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Because she's
because you used to Dad waking you up when you're hungover with his lawnmower and blower.
Well,
Dad?
So the reason I call them land scalpers is because my brother and I thought of that. It's for an upcoming Don Clark show, which is our audio drama podcast.
I love it.
Don has a problem with this landscaping company, and he forms like the border. It's called Border Patrol, right? We wrote all of this before. Honestly, we wrote all of this.
Oh no, I can't wait.
We wrote all of this before Trump took office and was going to like build the wall and shit. Like, we honestly should have released this years ago. But
you are a visionary.
Apparently prophets, some would say. But yeah, it was like we Don Clark comes home. Like, he didn't realize like this landscaping company was they got the wrong address, and they completely like do his lawn, and like we have this whole Schindler's List moment written in there where he's like on his knees in his garden, like picking up flowers and stuff, like these petunias. I could have saved them. I just like I don't want to get too in depth with it, but like, yeah.
I could totally see it, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
He starts investigating this company because then he suspects that they're an underground drug ring from Mexico, bringing in drugs, and that they would only serve drugs to the houses that like they did landscaping, and that's how he comes on their trail. It's like he goes to the cops saying that like, look, these land scalpers came onto his land and gave him grass, and he's just, and like, of course the police are going to take that differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have this whole thing that he's like, and we have a character in our show called Man. We just call him Man because he's like the redneck, white-blooded American that
Hey, man.
always gets behind everything. Like, I don't want these land scalpers scalping my land. Just
Okay, man.
it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry
I
about
love
it.
it,
It's
dude.
coming.
I love
We
it.
don't mean any offense whatsoever. It's 100% pure satire and realizing that these things are existing and we're trying to call attention to it.
Damn straight.
But
Tongue in
yeah,
cheek, people. Tongue in cheek. Lighten up.
just
Let the
stab the
snowflakes
feather.
melt. Let's all lighten up a little bit.
All right, so let's get through these last 3 messages here. Sorry, 2
Okay.
messages. Smokey, your phone's still not working. I don't know what's going on, buddy. I'm sorry.
You guys don't have to do any subliminal messaging with me. I'm already brainwashed, programmed for Friday afternoons. I go through withdrawal when you guys don't do a show. So there's no reason to put me through that. Except we don't have a safe word, but hey, what the hell? I mean, we're all friends anyway, right? Who needs that? Just throw that out the window. There you go, crinkled up piece of paper in the trash bin. Oh, and I made the shot. Okay, so you don't have to worry about brainwashing me about anything about that. Now, politically, I am brainwashed enough with this show. I know to tune in on Friday mornings at 8 o'clock in the morning or 8:15 in the morning now, whatever it is, and to listen and participate. Message received. Servant is done.
Read the poet. Read the poet. No, we don't do subliminal messaging on this show. Read the poet. Read the poet. Read the poet.
Yeah, right. We don't do any
Nope.
subliminal messaging. And thanks for that stab, May. I appreciate. She was yelling at me that we were minutes late today. So
Yeah, I got that. I was just going to try to overlook it a little. Hoo-ah.
And another
Love it.
thing, and Mr.
Go-
Big Bear, you guys are making me do twice the work. I'm working for my job, and then you're bringing up our tampons luxuries, and I'm pulling articles for you as well. So I'm doing research for you, and I'm getting paid
Oh.
by one job, and I'm not getting paid
Thank
by
God you're
another.
pulling articles.
But I do have my own mind, so I guess that I'll have to do. So yeah, yeah. There are messages out there somewhere. Somebody got them. I don't know which one I sent them to, but. And another thing, I will continue to do this until I'm blue in the face because, of course, I've got to contribute my dollars worth of information or whatever that I can find to clarify whatever it is you guys are talking about, or at least back you up and double check the facts like good press people are supposed to do before you start talking about stuffies. All right. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm gone.
Before you start talking about the stuffuses. Oh my God, Big Bear! I'm so glad she said pulling articles. She said polling, and she said tampons, and then polling. I'm like, oh God, no!
my
Oh,
God.
articles. Whoo! Thank God. I thought we were gonna have a live moment.
Where's your rim shot?
Yeah.
Where's your rim shot? Oh my God. That's
Oh,
funny.
I thought we were gonna have a moment.
Oh my God.
Ooh,
May,
that could have gone
always,
south real quick.
You are a long friend of the show from the beginning.
Yes.
We appreciate that, and we always appreciate your fact checking. And I'm, yes, I like I said, I'm not a journalist. I'm a broadcaster. And yes, there is some integrity that has to go with that as well. But like I said, I always preface with look, these are my thoughts. These are what I think. You can quote me, but don't quote me on what I'm saying as the art, as actual factual evidence. That's what
Right,
we bring
right.
articles for. That's what Dave's here
Poke show.
for. Talk.
Yeah. Hey, we love to talk, and we like to talk about the articles, right? Because what I think we're lacking in our society, in from the media for sure, is just a fair and balanced delivery of information, and then a healthy conversation about it. It's like my team, your team, left, right, and there can't be a conversation. And it's like, man, come on, we're better than that.
All right, so we're done with messages right now. So let's bring up your next article. We'll address
so this
that
one,
and be back. I mean, I'm good to be out at 1 my time.
okay, yeah,
I'm good for another half
cool.
hour if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm chilling. If you got time, I'm having a blast. We seem to be on a great flow. People seem to be chiming in, which I'm really grateful for. Thank you, everybody that has tuned in and is listening and that shared. And yeah, thank you so much. So this article it's actually taken from a recording on NPR in good faith, May 20th, 2021, recorded at 4 a.m. Eastern time. Damn, that's a early morning owl right there. But by Suke Lewis, or Sucky Lewis, I think it's Suke. Sucky. Oh, sucky. No, Suke Lewis. In the small Northern California town of Rio Vista, a woman named Catherine Jenks called 911 for help. But after police arrive, she ends up injured and inside a jail cell facing serious charges. On September 30th, 2018, the same day Catherine is arrested, California Governor Jerry Brown signs a new law. State Senate Bill 1421 opens up long-hidden police misconduct and use of force records, including files that uncover what really happened on the night of Jenks' arrest and might change the outcome of her case. For decades in California, when allegations of police officer misconduct surfaced, police chiefs, city officials, and agency leaders held press conferences or issued statements promising to investigate. But the findings of those investigations were confidential and off limits to public scrutiny. In response to the new law unsealing police misconduct and use of force files, a team of reporters from over 40 newsrooms, including NPR member station KQED, set out to request records from every law enforcement agency in the state to find out how the shadow system of police accountability really works. Just days after the new law went into effect, the town of Rio Vista released an internal investigation into the arrest of Catherine Jenks, an investigation Jenks herself knew nothing about. In the first episode of On Our Watch, police body cam footage takes us back to the night of Jenks' arrest, and an investigator's audio recording places us in the interrogation room of the officers who arrested her. These files are the first time the public could see and hear the police disciplinary process in California at work. Those tapes and interviews with witnesses, victims, and experts, we find out about the protections police officers in California have even in those interrogation rooms and even after they've been fired. We begin to learn how the internal affairs system that promises the public accountability for so long actually might have a different aim. Bam! Learn more on our watch at kqed.org. This podcast is produced as part of the California Reporting Project, a coalition of news organizations in California. So it's a 47-minute audio program. I highly encourage everybody to listen to the whole thing. But yeah, wow. What are your thoughts on that, Bear?
There's so many.
It's a big one, right? It's a big one.
All right, so let me get this straight. This woman called the cops, but then it turns out she goes to jail, beaten, bruised, whatever. And then she sentenced? Is she sentenced? Like, is she serving time? Okay, so she's sentenced.
Yeah.
And they basically seal those records as to like how they investigated, like how they in her and stuff like that.
Yep.
But now, because those documents are unsealed and released to public or released to at least, yeah, I mean, if it's NPR, it would have to be released to the public.
So I don't know who can request them. You might have to be like a news agency to request them. So KQED, thank God, requested from the whole state.
But they got their hands on this, and based on that, it now shows like LA, or it now shows the way that these police conduct investigations or interrogations inside of the room.
Yes, and to the point where it might overturn her case.
That's just crazy. I mean, it's already horrible enough that there are so many people that are serving time just for like possession of I mean, like, remember when they were like, oh, we're
Right.
going to release all these people on possession of marijuana now that it's been like legalized for recreational use,
Yeah.
or at least we're dropping that charge, so that would reduce their sentence. It's nobody should be jailed for something that they didn't do or something like wasn't at their fault. It's just, oh my god, I feel so bad for
Yeah.
her. I honestly do.
Right.
I hope that this works out for her benefit. Now, if she was in the wrong, then she's in the wrong. I don't know anything about this case, right? Like
Right.
but
More will come out, but the disturbing part is just the internal investigations. We need to do away. Like, why would you have the fox guard the hen house?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
ridiculous. It's the only place in the world where that happens. That and in Congress, right? Oh, we're gonna do we're gonna put together a council and review that, right?
Oh, you mean like Mitch McConnell on this
Yeah.
week? I'm surprised you're not
Yeah,
bringing that
exactly.
up, to be honest. I'm sure you
Well,
saved that for an episode.
yeah, this just had my blood boiling, and it's just so kind of time
I get it.
sensitive too, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. No. Yeah, it reinforces the mistrust in our system, and that's the thing.
It's eroding
get
rapidly. Yeah.
it is. It's eroding rapidly, and I know that we need change to it, and I get that these articles are meant to be changed. I hope that the dialogue pushes forward and it doesn't stop at violence, right? I hope it doesn't lead to violence.
Me
Ever.
too. Me too. And that's
But
why that's why I want to talk about it, because the more we talk about it, the more we have a chance to contact our Congress people, to contact our city council people, to do something with the pen and paper, to contact the media outlets, you know?
sure.
Um,
And
you
it's
know,
not just our opinion. We also want the opinions of you, the listener.
yes.
So please, if you have an opinion on this article, again, Dave, can you just do a quick wrap up for anyone that might have just joined us?
Yeah. So it's this article on our watch in good faith, published May 20th. So, in a small Northern California town of Rio Vista, a woman named Catherine Jenks called 911 for help, but after the police arrived, she ends up injured inside a jail cell, facing serious charges. How does this happen? And after investigating the records, it turns out that with the release of information, it might overturn her case. So looks like she's going to be innocent, but she wouldn't have been
wrongfully prisoned,
wrongfully jailed and beaten
yeah,
after calling for help. So,
which means
damn.
again, it means that more police officers need to be held accountable and trialed, arrested and tried.
Yeah, and it just talks to what kind of psychological screening are we doing of these people? Pay them
Yeah.
more and get better qualified people. Pay them more, train them more, screen them more, and get better people.
I
Right?
literally had my brother out to me and say, I think I'm going to try and get a job at McDonald's because like those guys are making bank right now. They just raised their pay to like $15-$16 an hour, I think.
I love it. I love it.
Like, never did I ever think anyone would want to just, hey, I think I'm going to go work at McDonald's. Like,
not on my list.
Usually that's the mentality, is just like, what, you want to be a burger flipper your entire life? You got to be a fry cook? Which, I mean, honestly, what's wrong with that? As long as you're making a living and you're enjoying what you're doing, why not?
There's nothing wrong with it, and I would never judge anybody. McDonald's was my first job ever at 15 and a half years old. It was hell, and I'll never go back. And I'm just going to tell you right now, the polyester outfit gives you crazy leg zits.
Well, and I'm also going to just put this thought out there because I think I had this thought the other day. It was like a shower thought. Almost everyone that handles your food is like a teenager.
Yeah. Do you trust them?
Like you just said, your first job at 15. I think I worked at 16 at Potbelly's you know?
Yeah.
And I was going through the drive-thru. I'm like, oh my God, these are just all kids.
Right.
Like literally kids are handling my food every day.
Well, really sad public commentary is now there's senior citizens working there too. So you either got kids or old people that should be retired.
Which is also like, that's just sad. I mean, I came to terms with the fact that I'm never retiring a while ago.
Exactly. The R word. You kidding me?
What is that? Also, I have family members that are retired that say never retire.
Once you retire, you start dying.
Well, it's just like, yeah. I mean, I literally had a conversation with a couple of women who were retired that said, "Don't retire." There's just. I also have a grandmother who's retired that, like, you never know it. That woman is always busy doing something.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say is people like you and I that have hobbies that could keep us busy 24 hours a day would never be that person that withered away in retirement.
Yeah.
We would just be like, woohoo, I don't have to go to that place today.
Well,
right?
That's the dream. Financial freedom.
Exactly.
I want the freedom to just do whatever the fuck I want because I don't have to worry about how much it costs because everything's just handled. I have enough money that it's just handled.
Thank you.
That's the dream.
And you're not going to be lazy. You'd be running a show, traveling the world probably.
Oh, that's exactly what I would do. I don't care if I would get hired on by that place or not. I would literally just travel the world and podcast about the places I was going to and vlog about the places I was going to.
Oh yeah.
And edit those videos and edit that audio, and I would feel fulfilled because I'd be traveling, I would be seeing the world, I would be making connections, and I would be doing what I love, editing and recording, and really,
and bringing people together all the while. Do you hear that? The Journal.
yeah, exactly. Just pay me to do it.
Do you hear that? NPR sponsors throughout the world. We are accepting submissions here at the Weekly Wrap Up.
Right. So if you know anyone, share this shit with anybody that you know, and you're like, dude, this guy would totally fucking rock at this.
That's right. Because if you didn't know, well, now you know.
It to be on XM though, or a podcast. Like, I cannot keep from saying that. It's very hard for me to keep from swearing. It's very
tough.
hard.
Me too. I have a problem with it.
I'm passionate.
Me too.
First off, smartest people in the world use the F word.
I've heard that.
I've heard that. That was a statistic. Yeah, I saw me.
It is the most versatile word in the English language too. It's a noun. It's a pronoun. It's a verb. It's a it could be
so
every
diverse.
Yeah, it is. It's the most versatile word, literally.
Yeah. But then the other thing is just like, hey, some people like just regular gravy, right? They can just have gravy.
That's right.
Some people like a little seasoning. That's me.
Right.
I like
some people like vanilla. Some people like vanilla ice cream. Some people like Neapolitan.
Some people like orange sherbet.
Hey, creamsicle, squirrel.
All right, let's get to the people that are calling in about our topic.
Reel it in, Dave.
Well, it's 6:30 in the UK, and it's pissing it down with rain. It's freezing cold and fucking windy, and then the ice cream man is to come down the road. Who wants an ice cream in this sort of weather? Do you know what? Actually, I might go and get a banana ice on the Afro, actually.
Thank you for our weather check-in from the UK. And
thanks,
I will have more ice cream as well. That's so funny that we were literally talking about ice cream, and that's what that was about.
That was great timing.
Was unplanned and recorded a long time. That's how you know that this is fate.
Synchronicity.
Right there. All right, let's keep going.
Okay, Denise is muttering under her breath. She just slapped her hand to her forehead and muttered something to me and shot me a message across the floor. Her uncle is an attorney, and she says, quote unquote, only one thing stands in the way of getting these records is that there's a specific document by court order that you have to obtain, and it is not accessible to the public. It is accessible to the attorney, and they have to request a certain document to get those records to clear a charge like this case you're talking about. She's like, could another thing and Big Bear rub her the wrong way? Uh-oh. That's all she had to say about that. So it's a specific documented order by the attorney. No regular human being can get it except that chain of events. Oy vey.
Okay, well, yeah, it's good to know the specifics. I mean, we were basically just saying that people should have access, so they do. That's good.
I don't like to rub anybody the wrong way. I like to rub them the right way.
Exactly. Hey, ooh ah.
Where the fuck is your pad? Where's your rim shot? That was a perfect opportunity. There we go. Dave, this is why we need to be in the same studio.
Exactly.
Man, could you imagine if we actually met each other, how great our show would be?
No, it'd be on fire. We'd be burning the room down. Burning the room down.
Just saying. Pay us to fucking do it.
Yeah. Appreciate the messages, May and Denise. Come on, no hard feelings. You know, we're just talking about how we feel and stuff. And you know, like we said, we're not telling you what to think. We're just asking you to think. So I appreciate you giving us us the details on that. Yeah.
Thank you for always keep. No, I mean, I always like being corrected. If I'm out of line, please let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
But also, we need to sometimes agree to disagree. So I apologize. You know, if I've ever rubbed you the wrong way, I apologize. That's not my intention. I wish nothing but good vibes, and that's what we want to spread: is good vibes to start your weekend.
Exactly. We're just bringing up topics to get people to think about them. You know, once again, not telling you what to think about it, just hoping that we, you know, open up
plus it's
somebody's thought process.
Dude, I love it. This allows me to spread my wings on shit and just purge sometimes. Like I get so angry about this stuff, but I don't think I could talk about it with anybody without getting like, you know, like without somebody getting in my face. That's why I like talking with you to do this, because in this environment that we've set, this tone that we've set, it allows people to talk about it and hopefully feel safe enough to talk about it and give their opinions about stuff. But yeah, you know, I'm always afraid to talk to somebody because, like, I can talk about it with my dad in person, but it's more him talking because he's upset about things, and I worry about his heart rate as much as my own. And then, you know, or I could talk to my aunt about it, who's very knowledgeable. I mean, you two would have a great conversation. Honestly, I think you and Pa Rocky should have a great conversation together here.
That'd be fun.
But I think he worries about. He doesn't have the same mentality times of just let it go.
Yeah.
Of it's okay to walk away, but and that's what he worries about with being on here. But I think if we just brought him on slowly, maybe a half-hour show at a time. Who knows?
There we go. Yeah, no, I mean it's always fine to walk away. You know, I mean people have their personal limits and thresholds for whatever reason, and I don't judge anybody for, you know, hey, you do you, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight across the board.
I'm going frisbee golfing later today with a friend of mine who has very rightist views. Like I don't agree with a lot of the shit that he agrees with. But him and I we just agree to, like, hey, you believe what you believe, I'll believe what I believe. And like we'll share shit with each other, but as long as we don't allow it to get in the way in between us, like we let it roll off our back so that we can continue to be friends, because we are friends. We have a lot of fun doing things together, like frisbee golfing.
You can talk about one of the many things that you do agree on and have in common.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Focus on the positive.
So that's the mentality I have. That's the mentality that I try and put forth in action. So thank you for also being a part of the show. Not just you, Dave, but everyone listening and being a
Everybody.
part of the show.
Thank you,
Yeah,
each and everyone.
Let's continue.
My last message and my job and my thing is to be here every Friday and be a part of this and send off my weekend the right way. So have a good weekend, guys. And nothing but positive vibes. Now I think I have to get off this recording before I have a nervous breakdown. Anyway, have a good weekend.
Uh-oh, deep breath, deep breath.
She's on a couple more times, like she left.
Denise said, Big Bear, she'll take a hug from you anytime. That might rub her the right way. You win.
There we go. See, I'm really good at hugging too. I give some good bear hugs.
All right. A bear hug by chance?
Dude, I stand at 6'2" and I'm 330 pounds. Like, I'm a huge person.
Now that's a freaking bear hug if I've ever thought of one. That's it.
Yeah. I'd actually like a bear hug, like for real, from a bear. Like, that'd be pretty awesome.
Wouldn't that be one of the most amazing things?
The way that I hug regular people? Oh my God.
Didn't end well with that grizzly guy, though.
Well, hello, Big Bear. And another thing. There seems to be a certain element of mischief going on in this weekly wrap-up and not a lot of wrapping up of weekly activities. Okay, so I've only just started listening in and whatever. But where's the talk about Bashir, the royal family, the BBC falling apart? Where's the British element to this update?
Well, we're always up for the little enlightenment from across the pond if you've got some, but I am definitely not a specialist in that arena at all. So this episode was pretty much about law enforcement and internal investigation and stuff.
Love your voice, and love the fact that you're calling us out. I would love an update, please, from across the pond.
Yeah.
What are you
and
doing?
Thank you for tuning in.
Oh my
Professor
God, she got
Moneypenny is
stereo
awesome.
to download on her phone, so she clicks on the app and now it won't open. We are laughing our asses off here trying to figure out what else she has to delete to get on stereo. Oh man, this is going to be continued. She deleted enough shit off her phone to fit the app in. It downloads and now it will not open. It says phone data overload. So now she's got to figure out what else she has to delete to get the app to open. So you win. She's actually maybe possibly willing to contribute herself. Oh my God.
It's working. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh.
If you guys could just never end this broadcast, that would be really cool. Like, I would be down with that. I can like cash app you or send you guys like twerk videos for your time. Just keep this shit rolling. Appreciate you.
Send us pizza delivery. Just keep eating. You're fine.
Yeah. Just keep door dashing us. Like, all right, today we're gonna plan out a nice menu, Jake. We've got a great idea.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I approve of this. I will be at this location, and this location.
I love it. Yeah, you get bribed to stay on the air longer by the food that you're sent.
Yeah. Dude, mozzarella stick. I'm not even joking. I missed Lost so much, but every time I get mozzarella sticks in honor of Lost.
They're so good. Oh my God. Jalapeno cheese poppers. I would do another half hour if people could deliver some jalapeno cheese poppers.
Hey, you know what? Sonic just down the road has both jalapeno poppers and mozzarella sticks. Just saying.
Oh. Is there a Sonic in town? Oh man, I might have to find one.
I have a Sonic. Dude, they're cherry limeades. the Route 44 cherries. That's 44 ounces of cherry limeade, man. That's like 6 maraschino cherries in there. It's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
now that's
You can
something.
tell. You can tell it's lunchtime. The bear is getting hungry.
I am getting hungry. My stomach just went. "Roar." Yeah,
As a
jalapeno
very
poppers.
special favour to you for asking so nicely. Britain is in meltdown. Oh dear. The government decided to open the doors and let people into pubs and let people drink. And then this nasty Indian variant came in. I wonder how it got there. Nothing to do with an extra 100 flights having been laid on from India. And nobody stopping them at the border. Oh, quelle surprise. So we've got surge testing, panicking, people getting very, very poorly with an Indian variant that everyone said the vaccines would work against, but maybe they're not. Oh, and then Prince William and Prince Harry are gobsmackingly honest and have brought down the British Broadcasting Corporation to its knees, as Martin Bashir, the former journalist that interviewed Prince Diana, has had to come out and say, I was wrong. Basically, the Brits are in meltdown.
Wow. That's
Well,
wild.
hopefully that doesn't affect the country. But I could definitely see, I mean, the same thing with America. How many flights are we actually, like, they're talking about weighing people now and, like, having to possibly pull people off of flights if they eat too much because of they're expecting so much travel and traffic. So, I mean, we're not far behind.
Right. And the
And you're
CDC
right.
recently said, and I don't agree with this. The CDC recently announced nationwide that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask indoors. Like, what? Why couldn't
Well,
you leave it up why couldn't you leave it up to the businesses?
Yeah, they also said the same thing. Actually, something counterintuitive that said, I think it was Fauci that said, like, people are taking these new CDC guidelines the wrong way, and yeah. So I didn't read the article, but I just saw that headline. I'm like, that sounds like something Fauci'd say.
Yep.
And I just kept going on because I don't. There's nothing I can do about it right now. So I try and just kind of stay out of it. I'm doing my part. I'm going out. When I go out, I wear a mask. I am half vaxxed right now. I get my next shot on June 5th. So I'm doing my part to try. That's the best that I can do. Is just be me and make sure that my family is following the guidelines or just being safe. And that's what we're doing.
All you can do. It's all you can do when it comes down to it, really.
Yeah, but
Brittany Baker.
I mean, yes, we're fucking. These countries are dumb. They're dumb as fuck. If they really wanted to do it the right way, we should have ordered a mandated indoor lockdown starting Groundhog's Day.
Right out the gates, exactly. Cease all travel.
Just starting Groundhog Day. Like even 2021 Groundhog Day, we should have just locked down.
Right. Because then it would go away. It would go away, right?
Because what is that? 6 more weeks of winter, right?
And then you ease back into regular life. You ease back into travel. Only those who who it's a necessity for,
exactly.
Things like that.
So I mean, if we would have just we had an entire fucking year to plan this to be like,
yeah, and we fucked it all up. Yeah,
for 6
who's in
weeks,
charge?
and we're gonna start at Groundhog's Day. So, and we're gonna give you the money. We're gonna give you money to get supplies. To maintain yourself for 6 fucking weeks. That's
right, because it's cheaper in the long run, and better and safer, and just boom, it would be done. So there you go. We figured out that too. You and I are not rocket science.
And hibernated, and then slowly worked its way out. Then I think that it would have massively reduced the curve.
Yep. And what was it? It was wasn't that Casey and the Sunshine Band? Get down, make a little love tonight. Get down tonight. Get down tonight.
I get what I'm asking you to do. I would be asking myself to stay indoors with my kids for 6 weeks. Sometimes I think they probably wouldn't survive, but
Right. And
or
not
I wouldn't
strangle them. That's
survive.
the key part. 6 weeks and
Exactly.
not strangle them.
And not Homer Bart Simpson them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's I mean, that was my idea, but nobody fucking asked me.
Right. I vote for Bear. Yep.
Listen, Domino's has those fucking 2-topping pizzas for like what, like $6 or something crazy. Listen, and I'm pretty sure I got a free pizza. Send me the Addy, dog.
She really does want us to stay on here for another half hour. She's willing to send pizza. Oh my God, that's a great clip. That is a great clip. Can you believe that, Bear? That is hilarious, right? Oh, May the Poet coming in hot. May the Poet.
And don't forget about Prince William having his first dose of the COVID-19 shot. Yes, I follow the British royal news. I'm guilty of it. I have a cousin by the name of Terry Friedman who lives over there with his wife Lydia Friedman. I am part British, so therefore I am religiously addicted to all and everything about the royals, and I have been catching up slowly but surely. And the Queen's new puppy just died that she just got, that they made a big fuss over a couple of weeks ago. And what else was there? Meghan Markle and Prince Harry shared an in-depth article about how Meghan Markle was going to kill herself in People magazine this week in the country. So, yeah, I did say that out loud. So, yeah, unfortunately, that runs in my family. I am very well in tune with what's going over in the UK, and it is one big clusterfuck of information and crazy as batshit. Oh,
Well, when it comes to royals, I say better Prince William than Prince Albert. Ouch. Oh. You back, Bear?
I don't know, am I?
You are. You are loud and
Okay.
clear. Yeah, we got Ms. Moneypenny here.
So, just to update you, and by the way, Big Bear, good luck with the jab. I hope they put it in the right place. Yeah, so CDC, go to the CDC website, have a look. Welcome in, come to the United States of America. Oh, and by the way, anybody that wants to fly outside of the United States of America doesn't even need a test, doesn't need a passport, doesn't need anything. Just travel, just enjoy the skies. Oh, come and go. Buy some souvenirs in India and then just fly straight back in with no testing at all. It's bonkers. So apart from Biden having said he's going to send 20 million vaccines over to India, it's all looking a little bit hopeless in the United States of America. But good news. Tomorrow evening, I'm interviewing El Presidente, the former POTUS, Sir Donald Trump. He's coming on the stereo to talk to Miss Moneypenny. Don't miss it. Please follow me.
Wow. I wonder if that's this stereo Donald Trump? I'm inquisitive now. Inquiring minds need to know. Right, Bear?
Bear knows I'm not fucking joking. Like, all he's got to do is send me the address and what he wants on his pizza, and I'll send that shit. He knows I'm not fucking playing.
All right, you heard it live and direct, Bear. What do you want on your pizza? 2 toppings coming to you free from Domino's Delivers. Avoid the Noid. Not that we are sponsored by Domino's here at the Weekly Wrap-Up, but we would accept a sponsorship from Domino's here at the Weekly Wrap-Up, or any other business that would like a weekly plug. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm fucking back.
He's back in black.
Oh my God.
Well,
You have
back
no
in red
idea.
with the crown on.
I've had so much connectivity issues. I've heard the show in and out. I'm sorry. This is why we can't go
You're
over
good.
2 hours.
That's right. That's right. It's the universe going, what are you guys doing, man? You're breaking the matrix.
It's like, hey, you've had your 15 minutes. Get the fuck off stage, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Much love to everybody that tuned in. Much love, Bear. Give shout out to a couple people that stuck in the whole time. May the Poet, Brittany Baker, Cranium Archives, Leslie Green, Quentin Robert, Ms. Moneypenny, Professor Moneypenny. Tune in to her. Follow Ms. Moneypenny. Follow everybody that tuned in. Let's all help each other grow. Paula Fay, Crypto Bitcoin King. What's up, King? Yeah, and if you dug, like Bear was saying, if you dug the show, please feel free to share it. You can go back, share the whole thing. You can share 30-second clips. Much love, everybody. But we're getting a bunch of love from everybody, and I appreciate the affection. I can see the hearts coming up and the devil horns. We got all these new emojis. That's so cool. Much love to Stereo. Much love Big Bear Radio. Much love to everybody that tuned in. This is a wrap on the weekly wrap. We will see you guys next Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Central. Take care.